We need to talk about Rosalia because Lux feels like one of these albums that people will be pointing back to about where music shifted, specifically pop music, where pop music shifted somewhere around the mid 2020s. Quick refresher in case you lost track: two Grammys, 13 Latin Grammys. El Maquerer in 2018 flipped flamenco into something modern cinematic, internet era without stripping the soul out of it. Then Motomami dropped in 2022. This joint was chaotic in the best ways. Self written, self produced, global number one, sold out arenas, critics losing their minds. She's been operating at a level where every release feels like an event. And now Lux lands and somehow it's even freaking bigger. This is the biggest opening week in her career. Number one's on Spotify, um, global top album charts, massive streaming numbers, chart toppers in Europe and Latin America, over 42 date world tour. We're talking arenas after arenas through 17 different freaking countries. The album moves like a full experience. Quiet moments, huge emotional peaks, then back down into something intimate again. Rosalia recorded Lux in London with the London Symphony Orchestra, conducted by Daniel Jarnison. And thankfully, it's one of these. It feels like prestige orchestra without the pretentiousness. It's not like an artist just trying to sound important, right? It feels intentional. This actually feels like um, you can actually feel the the emotions. You can actually feel the. It's like imagine when you go to a museum and you're like the painter paints something, and then you as a viewer you come by and you see it and you're like you interpret it what you see it, and then you get to talk to the painter and they're like, "Yo, yeah, that's exactly what I was doing." Oftentimes, like we don't know why Mona Lisa is smirking. We don't exactly know. We don't know why exactly that farmer had an apple over his face, right? Or we don't know where those stairs were supposed to lead us, or why those clocks were melting. You know, when they were making it, at least. We have some interpretations, and some of them may still be alive to kind of explain it. But like, what were you thinking before you heard their explanation, sort of thing? And it feels like this music is perfectly encapsulating what Rosalia is trying to say here. You can feel it. The strings, the choirs, the dramatic arrangements are everywhere, but they're never overly polished. They're just somehow still pop because she like leans in that genre, but she's reshaping what pop is in real time. It stays emotional and alive at the same time. And the collaborators on here, we have Bjork, we have Camino, Estrella Morenta, Sylvia Perez Cruz. These features add something real. Nothing feels random or algorithmic chasing. The multilingual approach, this thing, she moves between languages so naturally. I thought that maybe she just spoke 13 freaking languages, but no. Yeah, she sings in 13 different languages, this thing, but she relied on Google Translate, which I do a lot on this show because I review international albums like this. Google Translate, and but like she got an extra boost. She was able to like tap into translators to make sure that she was pronouncing words right and getting the translation of what she was actually trying to say to come across in the proper way. So some of it may be like dialects of a particular language. But we're talking Arabic, English, French, German, Hebrew, Italian, Japanese, Latin, Mandarin, Portuguese, Sicilian, and even Ukrainian. And mind you, that's besides her own native tongue, Spanish, right? The bonus tracks on this joint just landed as of April 16th, which is the first version that I listened to. When my boy put me on, it was the original version from 2025. But hey, he might be hearing this for the first time. This joint, they just dropped a couple extra tracks. Foku Rani, Novia Robot, and Genie, which is they were originally only available on the vinyl, but now they're getting a wider release on streaming, which they're well deserved. And so it's another chance to tap into the project if you haven't done so already. Okay, so couple of tracks that really stand out you could jump into if you're just trying to get overall vibe of the project. The first one, Sexo Violencia y Llantas. This one is a huge opener. I love having a great opening track, introducing you to a project, especially when you're something like this is a concept project, and that you have to set the stage for this sort of thing. And with that said, I also shout out to the album art. Okay, so the project is called Lux, and so in this thing, she is in all white in some sort of like latex covering, and she's like pretty much fully covered. Her hair is still covered in almost a religious sense, like the Catholic nun sort of sense, but it is covered. It's not like a hijab or anything like that, but it's almost like a hijab because she's pretty much covered. Like her face and neck are showing, but it's giving religion, and so this is what this whole project is about. Uh, so sexual violencia y llantas is so sex, violence, and llantas is debatable on what that is. It was that the tires of a car, or um, or the rims of a car, I think this one might be sung in Portuguese, so it might you know that might be it might just be car. So like I thought it was originally like sex, drugs, and rock and roll, which he meant by Valencia. You know what I mean? But I you get it. It's violence, but like um, I thought maybe drugs could be interpreted as some. I think it's maybe like some sex, drugs, and rock and roll. That's what I think. I think it's something to do with sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Um, but that's a great. It's a great opener overall. The production is dope. It's then you have Porcelana is another dope one you could just jump into. This is super controlled. It's delicate. Her voice carries the entire freaking track. Berghain is bro. Berghain is in German. This is just she switched it up again. You'll hear industrial drums, choral layers. There's these cold atmospheric um, notes that you hear throughout this thing. It sounds like a terrible idea on paper, combining those things, but somehow it works. It all comes together perfectly. If Moto Mami felt restless and unpredictable, Lux feels patient, feels bigger, more intentional. It's the difference between speeding through city streets and standing inside a cathedral after has left. The vibe is grand, um, but still somehow feels intimate. It's emotional without feeling heavy handed. There's a lot happening sonically, but the album never loses its humanity. It's wonderfully engineered. The production is dope. The overall concept is consistent throughout. Oh, okay. So by the way, the 13 languages. The 13 languages have something to do with. So these are like 13 important like women in the um is it in the religion, right? Because I mean some of them aren't even so like each language is tied to a specific story. For example, she brings French for Genie, which is inspired by Joan of Arc, and Sicilian. She brings that in for Fokurani, which is inspired by Saint Rosalia of Palermo. These women are all saints and historic figures that inspired each track on this thing. So that's what got her inspired to make this project. The best way to hear this thing um, for the first time, I'd say, give it your full attention. Put down the phone, play it loud. You got your phone on D&D. This needs your full attention. Um, and the music app that I'm currently using, I just figured out has a translate directly built in when you press the lyrics button on it. You can see the lyrics, you can listen to the music, and you're like reading the lyrics. So like, oh, I'm about to be dangerous now, right? Because I had to like pull those lyrics before and like dump them into translate sometimes line by line to try to figure out exactly what they say. After I hear the music, I like the music. I like how their voice couples with the notes and the decisions that they're making within the production. Let me go figure out what they're saying. So I'm like, I guess I'm lyrics second. I'm music first, lyrics second type of person. Um, I guess yeah, you know what? I haven't thought about that deeply, but I think that's what I am, right? Because I listen to so much different stuff, so much different kinds of stuff. Especially when I listen to a bunch of lo-fi, so there's no lyrics in that. Um, but then like my app, the app that I'm using for music has that feature now. Even better, I could tap in even further. This is the type of joint that you don't put the shuffle on. You're gonna want to tap into this artistic statement that Rosalia is making here. She's asking listeners to sit inside the world that she's built for an hour. This thing is just 49 minutes. How long is the deluxe? The deluxe version that just dropped is, yeah, it's an hour. It's not. You just sit there for an hour. The original one is only like 49 minutes, so an extra 10 minutes of music there. And she just, it's a moment to be locked in, and she's locked in, and I think she's earned it. She's earned your attention for at least an hour. You will thank me later. Hit that like and that subscribe.
It's challenge day.